When I initially read the story, I was very drawn to it, and then I got a letter when my TV show was on in the 90s from Lyle.
Rosie O'Donnell is sharing personal insight into her support for the Menendez brothers. Erik and Lyle are currently serving life sentences without parole for the 1989 murder of their parents, Jose and Kitty. And Rosie joined Chris Cuomo on News Nation alongside the brothers' attorney, Mark Geragos, and explained why she's passionately advocating for their release, sharing her belief in the siblings' claim that Jose had molested them throughout their childhood.
When I initially read the story, I was very drawn to it, and then I got a letter when my TV show was on in the 90s from Lyle. And he said, you know, I've heard you speak positively about us, and I hope this is not the reason that I think it is, that you can relate to the... And I, at that time, was in no way interested in exploring that subject in my own family and my own life. But through knowing Lyle and through being older and understanding your desire to help is bigger than your fear of being ostracized, and you do help, and it actually heals you.
Rosie also recalled how her connection to Erik and Lyle began nearly 30 years ago and why she doesn't think society was in a place at that time to take their allegations seriously.
Well, I think that if Erik was Erica, that Lyle would be a hero today, because a father viciously raping a child since they were 8 years old, all the way up until they were 17, and telling them they couldn't go live in a dorm because they had to stay home and service the father. If all of those facts were known to people, they would understand what happened. And sadly, I think, Chris, that unless you have experienced this kind of tortured existence of an incestuous family and all the lies that cover one another, unless you experience that, it's very hard to believe. Why didn't they just walk away? Well, they were 17 and 21. They were kids. They were children who had been abused the vast majority of their childhood in horrific ways.
Rosie's latest public remarks come weeks after Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascón announced that new evidence was being considered in the brothers' case. Rosie is expected to join the family in a press conference with Gascón on October 16th, which supporters are hoping is a resentencing announcement. And Rosie isn't the only Hollywood celebrity publicly supporting the brothers. Kim Kardashian penned a personal essay for NBC News published October 3rd, arguing similar points to Rosie's about why she doesn't think Erik and Lyle were given a fair chance at justice. Writing in part, Erik and Lyle had no chance of a fair trial against this backdrop. Back then, there were limited resources for victims of sexual abuse, particularly for boys. There were virtually no systems in place to support survivors, and public awareness of the trauma of male sexual abuse was minimal, often clouded by preconceived judgments and homophobia. Can anyone honestly deny that the justice system would have treated the Menendez sisters more leniently?